Hello, my name is Anvesh Rajal, and today I want to walk you how quickly and easily we can apply policies such as OAuth 2.0 to secure your existing APIs. So what you're looking at here is an example of an API landing page. I have this example test API that's already defined, and I can, right over here, I can look at some of my requests that have come in and the usage pattern, etc. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at these policies, and we're going to take a look at some of the out-of-the-box policies and apply. So before we get started, I want to just show you the before and we'll get into the after. So right now, the way it is I don't have any policies applied, so I can hit this URI and get my data back, and I can call this from Postman as well. This is a very simple example where I hit this API and I have an example of one record that it returns. In fact, if I click over here and go into my API designer, I can show you this is actually the RAML file that defines it. So I simply have, all I have here is one get operation that's defined and nothing else, right? So we're gonna go ahead and make sure it works first, which is something I think I just tested a second ago. And over here you could see that we're not sending in any security. Now, when I go here, I'm gonna scroll down to my policies. As you can see, there's a lot of these other out-of-the-box policies that I can apply for rate limiting, throttling, etc. So I'm looking for this OAuth 2.0 policy, and I'm going to simply click on apply. So one of the things that it's going to ask me is, hey, what's my access token validation URL and the scopes. So the scopes could be, read, write, anything that you want, but it's an optional field. So, in this case, I talked to my security guys and they said, here, I created an endpoint for you and you can call that. So I'm going to use that and apply that policies. So somebody who is managing these APIs doesn't have to know the details. I can simply come in here and apply these or enable, disable these policies. If I want to apply multiple policies, I can come in here, simply apply them, and then I can even edit the policy so they go through in the right order. Okay. Now that my policy is applied, it takes about 3 or 5 seconds to use it. I'm going to call it, I think this thing gets cached, so I'm going to try to run it again. There it goes, right? So it's now complaining that, hey, it's an invalid request because I applied this policy which requires an access token that it's missing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and request for a new token, right? If you have existing token, basically what we're looking for is to pass that as as part of my header, right? So this is the end result of where we want to get to, so that when I do a quick send, it actually returns me this data, right? So the way we did this is when you go into these authorization token, let me actually delete this token. I'm going to say that I want to create a new token, and when I create a new token, I can now pass in my authorization URL, my access token URL, and pass in my client ID and my secret, right? So this is now first going to guarantee that I have the proper credentials in form of client ID and secret, and it's also going to authorize it, right? So we're doing both of those. I'm going to click on request token here, and log in and authorize, right? So now this, and I'm using this tool called Postman, which I'm sure if you haven't used it, it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. I like that it allows me to simply just click on this button so I don't have to type, copy, and paste that. So the token that I'm looking for is this guy, M4N, and it should now be passed over here, which it is. So now when I do a send, right, there it goes. So I actually took that access token that we received, and when I pass that on to the header, I'm basically passing all the right information. So the token that was generated using my client ID and secret, when I pass that on, now it actually returns this data back, right? As you can see, if I come in here and then remove it again, then it complains that I don't have this token. I go back to my authorization, say, hey, use this token, and now it included that token in the header. When I include it, send it, boom, it sends me the response back. Okay, and for some reason, if you want to make some changes, if you don't like anything, I can simply go in here, disable this, remove it. So the policy, the management aspect of it from a policy standpoint is extremely easy. And the beauty of this, using the API manager is now when I have these requests come in, I'll be able to refresh and take a look at all these trends of the consumption of my API. Okay, well, thanks for watching.